Hello children, in this video class, let's learn the summary of the second unit, 3 questions written by Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy was a Russian author. He won the Nobel Prize for War and Peace. So it's a very interesting story. So let's look at the summary of 3 questions. Once there was a king, and a thought came to his mind that he would never fail if he knew 3 things. The king had 3 questions. First question, what is the right time to begin something? Second, who should a king listen to, or who is the most important person? The third question was, what is the most important thing for a king to do, or what is the most important work? So these were the 3 questions that came to the king. He wanted the answers. So he wanted to know the answers for these questions. He sent messengers throughout his kingdom, promising a large sum of money and gold to anyone who would answer these 3 questions. Many wise men came to the king, but they all answered differently. So the king got confused. Since nobody answered correctly, the king was not satisfied. At last, he decided to seek the advice of a hermit in the forest who was known for his wisdom. What did the king do? The king put on ordinary clothes and went to meet the hermit in the forest. Before the king reached the hermit's hut, the king left his horse with his bodyguard and went alone into the hut. As the king came near the hut, he saw the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. The hermit greeted the king, but he continued to dig the ground. The hermit was not talking to the king now because he was busy digging the ground for some plants. The king went up to the hermit and told him that he had come to ask him 3 questions and he wanted to know the answers. So the king asked the hermit the 3 questions. So what were the 3 questions? I hope you remember, right? You should remember. What is the right time to begin something? Who is the most important person? And what is the most important work for a king? But the hermit did not reply. After some time, the king took the spade from the hermit and helped the hermit to dig the ground. The king again asked the 3 questions to hermit, but hermit did not give the answers to the king. In this way, the king went on digging the ground, helping the hermit. It was evening. Suddenly, a bearded man came running to the hut and fainted in front of the king and the hermit. The king and the hermit saw a large wound in the bearded man's stomach. Blood was coming out of the wound. The king washed and covered the wound with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding was stopped. The king was tired by his walk to the hut and the work he had done. He was digging the ground, remember? So he was tired. The king was tired. So he closed his eyes and slept. When he woke up, it was morning. It was next day morning. The bearded man was sitting beside the king. The bearded man asked forgiveness from the king. He said, "Forgive me, king." The king did not know who he was. Later, the king came to know about the bearded man. He was the king's enemy who had come to kill the king because the king had killed his brother and he had seized his property. But the king's bodyguard had recognized him and the bodyguard had wounded the bearded man. So the king was happy to have made peace with his enemy. They became friends. The bearded man became a loyal servant of the king. The king not only forgave him, but also promised to give back the man his property. Then he went to the hermit and asked the 3 questions for the last time. Remember that the king wanted to know the answers from the hermit, right? So the king went to the hermit and asked the 3 questions one last time. The hermit smiled and said, "You have already been answered. You have already been answered, king. So saying, the hermit explained the answers to the king. So the hermit told the king the three answers. What was the answer for the first one? The most important time is now. Now is the most important time, because we can do any work, any activity only in the present time, not in the past, not in the future, right? So now is the most important time. The most important person is the person you are with at a particular time. So that is the answer for the second question. And the answer for the third question is, the most important work is to do good to others, because we are sent into this world for that purpose alone. So in this way, the hermit gave the three answers to the three questions of the king. Now, dear students, let's look at a quick summary of the poem Gratefulness. The poem Gratefulness is written by Joseph T. Rinaldi. In this poem, the poet says that we should be grateful to God. We should be thankful to God for giving us great gifts, possessions like eyes, ears, lips, and hands. We human beings also have a heart to love and to show kindness to others. We also have a mind that gives us the ability to help others. God has blessed us with such priceless gifts. The poet suggests us to make a good and positive use of these gifts and make our world a better place to live in. So this is the summary. I hope you will learn it, and you should also memorize the first two stanzas of the poem. Now let me read out the poem. The first two stanzas are like this. I am grateful for the eyes that I can see the activities that can be done by me. I am grateful for the ears that I may hear the sobbing of those who need me near. I am grateful for the lips that I might speak words of comfort and peace to all who seek. I am grateful for a mind that I might know how to aid those who need me so. So these are the two stanzas which I want you to memorize. So shall I repeat them once again? So I will read out the first two stanzas again. You repeat after me. I am grateful for the eyes that I can see, the activities that can be done by me. I am grateful for the ears that I may hear the sobbing of those who need me near. I am grateful for the lips that I might speak words of comfort and peace to all who seek. I am grateful for a mind that I might know how to aid those who need me so. So I hope all of you will memorize this and write it without spelling mistakes. Now let's also look at the last two stanzas. The third stanza is like this. I am grateful for the hands that I might do some arduous or simple task for you. I am grateful for the ability to always pray, to give the strength and guidance every day. I am grateful for one thing, all else above, that I was given a heart that I may love. So this is the poem Gratefulness, written by Joseph T. Rinaldi. So you should memorize the first two stanzas and you should learn the summary. Now let us quickly look at the vocabulary words. The vocabulary, the new words. Sobbing. Sobbing means crying, weeping. Comfort, comforting others, to make someone feel better. Aid, aid means to help others. Arduous means a difficult work involving a lot of effort and energy. So this is the summary of the lesson and three questions and the summary of the poem Gratefulness. Thank you, children.